Hey guys, it's your best boxing friends. I'm Kelsey. This is Rachel. Rachel, I completed some work for gambling.com and bookies.com. Link will be in the show notes. But listen, I want to talk about a couple of names that could be wild cards in this whole heavyweight mess that's basically been created by each of the three heavyweight champions: lineal champion Tyson Fury, unified champion Anthony Joshua, WBC champion Deontay Wilder, all being attached to different promotional outfits and different television networks. Okay? So what we have probably that's going to happen is that those guys are going to fight against other contenders and not each other, at least for over the next year or so. I think that makes the most sense for them and their handlers. It's good for the fighters, not necessarily the best for the sport, but those guys are going to do what they're going to do. But what about this, Rachel? First of all, did you know that undisputed cruiserweight champion Oleksandr Usyk is going to move up to heavyweight now?
I did.
So they're targeting, and he's promoted by Eddie Hearn, who's also Anthony Joshua's promoter. Oleksandr Usyk is targeting to fight, they said probably in May, possibly in Chicago, but in the United States definitely, that would officially move one of the pound-for-pound elite stars in boxing. He's only had 16 professional fights, and look what all he's accomplished. Talking about a heavyweight Olympic gold medalist, Oleksandr Usyk, moving up to heavyweight, and right off the gate, fighting a tough, notable heavyweight contender, one of the top 5 or 8 heavyweights in the world, Alexander Povetkin. I love that fight, and what I love more is that Usyk can add some drama and intrigue to the division. I wonder what you thought about that.
Yes, well, I think it's like a big deal for him to come up to heavyweight and fight Povetkin right off the bat. Yeah, and if our other 3 top contenders in the division aren't gonna, end up doing what the fans want, then hey, it's a perfect opportunity for somebody else to step up and garner the attention of the fans, which is what Usyk can do.
I like how you accidentally said other 3 top contenders. What you meant were the 3 heavyweight champions. But I like that you called them contenders, because to me, if you don't have one heavyweight champion, and while we call Tyson Fury lineal champion, that takes some, he retired, and he's not clearly the heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
And if he isn't clearly the heavyweight champion, then nobody is. And so really they're all rightfully probably.
Well, yeah, because they're supposed to fight each other to determine who that is.
Yeah, and really seem like close to that, but it's not going to happen now.
Yeah.
Another wild card I'm going to give you. There's rumors of a comeback of former unified and lineal heavyweight champion Wladimir Klitschko.
Right.
Now, I love that idea, especially now. Well, hold on. I love and hate it. I love it as a boxing fan, especially now with the 3-headed championship monster fighting on different networks, because it gives big fight opportunities to us as fans, because he could fight anybody. He's already lost to Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Against Tyson Fury, he lost by decision. Against Anthony Joshua, it was a Fight of the Year candidate, and he lost by knockout. It was still a really good fight. He's never, or at least during his long reign as heavyweight champion, he did not ever carry the WBC belt that Deontay Wilder has, and that's because Deontay Wilder won that after Vitaly Klitschko had officially retired, Vladimir's brother. They were never going to fight each other, and that was kind of Vitaly's belt, whatever you want to call it. But that's another name that coming in to this scene could really add some high drama, and fighting against any 3 of those guys is both promotable and also, I think, competitive, because he already fought the 2 guys, but they were really competitive fights. He knocked Anthony Joshua down and looked like he was on his way to win the fight before he got stopped himself.
Yeah. Well, what you have is, we had the 3 guys, right? But if they can't fight each other, then that's what kind of sucks for the division, because that's what you need. So the more guys we add to the division that are legitimate
upper
contenders,
echelon heavyweights,
that have the, you can look at Usyk and you can argue that he might be the heavyweight champion. You could argue that, and
he
so
has
that's
the
what
look
you
of
want.
a guy that can
And
do
then
that.
you look at Vladimir, and so sure, as a fan, I can sit here and be like, well, yeah, Vladimir, I could be all excited. He could come in, he could do this. I am also well aware that Vladimir could come in and be old.
Yeah.
And just be old in the ring.
Once you're
we don't know with him.
Once you get to 40 and over, it's hard to compete at that high of a level, especially over 12 rounds.
Over 12 rounds, and with the type of other heavyweight contenders that we're talking about right now. These aren't out of shape, slow, that's just not what you're fighting. So, these are top high-level heavyweights that we have right now.
Well, I told you, and I told you guys why I love the idea of Vladimir Klitschko. Let me just quickly say why I would hate it. I hate it because I'm a Vladimir Klitschko fan. Rachel and I love the Klitschko brothers, and I, want what's best for Vladimir. I think Vladimir legitimately has a claim to being one of the better and or best heavyweight champions ever. If you look at how many title defenses he had, his longevity, how dominant he was. And while it wouldn't do anything to take that away from him, I don't see anything really to be gained from him coming back. Unless he just needs the money, I don't think he does. And or unless he can really beat the upper echelon heavyweights and win titles again.
Yeah.
While it's possible, I don't consider that a probable thing at this point in his career.
Yeah. And we don't know because it certainly looked like he has the physical capability to do it. It almost seemed like a mental block with Vladimir. That kind of thing where you get older and you're afraid to let your hands go.
And that's something that happens.
Yeah.
We saw it happen with Evander Holyfield later in his career.
So whether or not he can get over that, but it's certainly I'm not looking at Vladimir physically and being like he can't handle this. Physically seems like he can.
So regardless, it's an exciting time to be a heavyweight fan, even if it's not quite as exciting as we all hope.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you some names. I'm going to give you a few names. I'm going to say, Rachel, in 5 years, all these guys will fight each other. Who's going to be the man, a.k.a. the Becky Lynch of the heavyweight division? Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk.
I'm going to say Usyk.
That's a huge upset. If I had odds on that, Usyk was the huge underdog. But I like what you're thinking here, and I think that you're thinking it because you see a similar kind of fighter that Evander Holyfield was. Evander Holyfield was the first undisputed cruiserweight champion and also the first cruiserweight to move up and win a title. But not only did he win a heavyweight title, he became one of the greatest heavyweight champions ever. Usyk, the thing about Usyk is that he'll need to... Evander carried power. Maybe not one-punch Mike Tyson, crazy knockout power, but he carried hard enough power up with him. It'll be interesting to see if Usyk can do that, because if he can, as brilliant a boxer as he is, I think he can definitely do it like you're suggesting he will. I'm going to say it's going to be Anthony Joshua. And I'm going to say that because Anthony Joshua is younger than the two other heavyweight champions. I'm not convinced Usyk can carry his power up. And as much as I'd love for it to be Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder, it just seems like everything is leaning toward Joshua's way. But hey, you know what's leaning your way? It's Real Talk with Kelsey and Rachel. And also my ability to segue to these segments. I think it's underrated.
Hey, I think you should leave a comment about who you think out of that list of 5.
Yeah. In
5 years, who's going to be reigning at the top of that? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. And if you want to lob some personal attacks, just direct them at me. Or I will come find you.